Party people in the place to be. Live from 58 Dream Street. We're Jameson with Games. Happy Saturday, folks. BJ, welcome. And anyone else who's here. Whether you're about to say hi, Cedric, for example, or if you're just lurking, you're still welcome. The only people I'm not saying hi to are the people who are not here. All right. So yeah, here we are. It is, what is it, day 4? Session 4 of our King's Quest 6 Air Today, Gone Tomorrow playthrough. And while the ball is rolling, I don't think this is going to be the climactic session. I'm going to guess we've got this one in next week, which is fine because I conferred with Greg this week. I sent Greg a text that said, hey, how many aphorisms can you think of that have the word heir or hair or here in them? And we got a good list. So even if I can't beat it next week, I got a few more stupid puns that I could keep titling these after. So we're good to go. Here we are. And last week, British, welcome. Happy Saturday. Last week we made it through the labyrinth / the catacombs. Kind of a little conceptual overlap there because there's a minotaur, but it is absolutely a catacombs. But the catacombs are winding like a labyrinth. Anyway, we got through. We made it through. I just put my trust in the universe and said, I'm pretty sure I need the tinderbox because like the catacombs are going to be dark. At some point we're going to have to light something. That seemed obvious enough. The second thing that I was sure that I had that I needed was the red scarf. And then I just said, well, like if I dead end in there, I got a map. But it turned out the other necessary items were the hole in the wall and the brick. If I'd thought a little bit more, I bet I would have thought there's going to be a lot of corridors and walls separating adjacent rooms. Maybe I would have thought that the hole in the wall was one of the bits of it. The brick is very much just to I'm going to need this brick at some point. But yeah, anyway, turned out that was it. And I got some stuff in Labyrinth, and we got to meet the Oracle, and she said some stuff. And now now Alexander knows about the Isle of the Mists. So we have an additional island available to us. And we took some stuff from that island, which got us into the Isle of the Beasts, firing up the game right now as we speak. Here it comes. One day, perhaps I will use the Scum VM. Oh my goodness, I gotta turn this down to my own ears, or I'll be shouting at you the entire time just to hear my own voice. Perhaps someday I will use the Scum emulator to play Maniac Mansion. Because Scum is the LucasArts engine, the script utility for Maniac Mansion. But it also, apparently, it does the SGI or SCI, Sierra Creative Interpreter engine. And that's where we are in King's Quest 6. So, I'll do that today, British. I had a rougher start to the year than I thought I would, so I have not been as attentive to the Discord as I maybe should. Also, what I really just need to do, because I have the Discord app on my phone, and I get notifications all the time for a friend's server that I've never, she invited me to it, and I've never commented there or done anything there. So there's obviously, individual channel settings. I could get my own server to give me notifications when my own friends message me about stuff. It's coming. The reply is coming. All right. So, why have I done this? Why do I have... Okay. Right. One of them is a question mark because I made that save thinking I was going to stop, only to discover that is moments before Alexander succumbs to the beast's curse. I couldn't figure out how to get... Yeah. In fact,
Alexander feels a strange sensation come over.
wow.
His skin begins to itch.
Hello, Clef. So instant. Yeah, you click it and you don't even see any. Like, the narrator starts talking over black. So this is a new King's Quest VI session experience for me because.
Is that the beast you could do?
Yeah, laugh it up, fuzzball. I have no reason to believe the narrator is fuzzy, but yeah, this time I'm starting with a pretty good sense of what I should do. It's not great. Like the Minotaur, you could say like it's an ironic thing. And I guess like, because he's part man, part bull. He's got the head of a bull, but the voice of a man because he has the chest of a man. But I don't know. It is kind of goofy. But yeah, here we are. Hey, you know what? I hadn't thought of this at all. It's kind of fun because we're doing through this gazebo, I guess, gazebo gateway. When Prince Alexander goes through there, he's going to meet a stand-in for the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And I hadn't thought about the fact that the voice of Prince Alexander is Robbie Benson, the voice of the Beast in the Disney classic Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, so he's going to task me. That's fun. They should have... oh, no, never mind. I was about to say something about Quest for Glory 2, which obviously does not have voice acting. But they should have got the guy from Full House, who's also the voice of Aladdin. Played DJ's boyfriend, Steve. I'll confess I don't remember the fellow's name. So I talked to the Beast, and he's all, well, now that you're here, you have to either find me a lover and break my curse or whatever, or you have to become a beast. That sounds right, PJ. That sounds exactly right. Well, not exactly right, because I'm positive his last name is not something with a question mark, but it is Scott. I think that's right. Where's my train of thought? Yes. If I can't find him a lover, well, you saw what happens. I'm going to turn into a beast. And not a cool anthropomorphic beast. I'm going to be like his dog or something. Not great. But I knew exactly where to find him a lover. It's our Cinderella stand-in back on the Isle of the Crown. And indeed, now, once I activate the Beast Quest, if I go there, you saw, she's standing by the wall instead of over by the rose bushes on the house. But she's so shy, she won't speak to Prince Alexander. And so, boom, I became a beast. And then, as we were standing on this screen saying, yeah, it is nice. It's certainly like this is the second King's Quest game, or really arguably third, I guess, after Perils of Rosella, where there are a lot of scenes that are kind of like scripted, but this is a huge step up in these scenes being like well written and well acted and kind of like telling more of a story. And that is one of the nice touches. Okay, so yeah, then I came back out here to make the save because I had to stop.
Alexander walks forward to step onto the gazebo. But the hedges on either side of the path, sensing an intruder's presence, reach out their vines and blend together. The path is blocked.
When you think about it, kind of an aggressive security system to have the magical just obstruction that will just stop you from coming in be the fallback if you made it past the open gate that will just kill you. That's odd. Fortunately, like his father before him, Prince Alexander will steal anything that's not nailed down. And I stole this scythe from the druids.
Alexander wields the scythe
and we're going in.
To get past the magical
I was on this screen just about to stop when PJ said, "Oh, those roses are pretty."
Leaves fly as Alexander tries to cut the branches faster than they can grow back
actually,
together.
boom is not a light bulb sound. Ping. I realized. Oh, okay. There it is.
He's through.
Take the nails.
enter Beast's garden.
My name is Alexander. I didn't mean to disturb your private garden.
No. And yet, monsieur, you could hardly have accidentally broken through the 3 enchanted traps of the Isle of the Beast.
I suppose it is simply my nature to break through enchanted traps.
You must be a prince, then. I know the nature of princes all too well. This face you see before you is hideous, is it not?
Yeah, these are both. This is a good scene.
For the face of a beast, it is really quite noble.
Ha! I'm glad you like it, for you will soon own one just like it. I too was once a pretty prince, caring for nothing but adventuring and rescuing fair maidens. But I rankled one too many evil hags. One dark night, I was turned into this obscenity you see before you, warped in shape and trapped on this enchanted island over 100 years ago.
Surely there is a way off this island.
Oh, surely. You broke in, did you not? And yet think, where would I go clad so eloquently as I am with this silk and this pelt? You see, my prison.
It's a shame I made the transition from 5 to 6 at such a busy time, because this would be a really nice frame for one of my gimmicky stream overlays.
If there's any way I can help.
Help? You? I'm afraid you don't understand. The enchanted barriers were a warning and protection for you more than for me. Your prize for forcing your way past them is to join me in this dire life. By the laws of this sorcery, you are doomed to be trapped in the form of a beast. Your reward for broaching this garden is to be my slave. A slave as beastly as I am. You have only a few hours of
What an
humanity
odd
left.
curse.
But that's not possible. There must be some way to break the enchantment. Spells always have a weakness somewhere.
The enchantment you are under is tied to my own. Oh, the sorceress left me a way out. But I'm afraid it was only her final bitter joke. You see, I need only find a maiden to join me here, to share my castle, my life, willingly. Take another look at me. You can't help but admire the hag's terrible cruelty and cunning.
I shall try to find such a maid, for Casima's sake.
Truly? How determined of you. I personally would not waste my last few hours as a man on an impossible errand. However, you may do as you please. I give you this token. It's my family ring, and the only heirloom I have left. If perchance you should... if you think you have found a maid...
I shall give her this ring.
Yes, she must accept it of her own free will. By doing so, she accepts me. Not that you shall find anyone, mind you. Your time is short. Count the minutes on your fingers, while your fingers you have, pretty prince. Your master will await you.
So is this guy's family... did they always live on the Isle of the Beasts? Abra. I can hear Abra. And I'm not sure. Yeah. He was probably just being imprecise. Because, or that's a huge loophole in the curse. They just have to get them to the island, and that counts. By hook or by crook. But yeah, like, did this guy's family... was it not the Isle of the Beasts before? Or was that just an interesting coincidence that he lived on the Isle of the Beasts and then got the beast curse? If he was doomed to live on the Isle of the Beasts, did the hag that enchanted him also create the beautiful manor house for him? Who knows? Well, hopefully I'm right that it's just a 2-step. Before I thought it was a 1-step. Let's just go give her the ring. She's like, ah. But if I give her the white rose and then she's like, the only thing that ever makes me happy is roses. And then I'm like, well, hold on. What if you got to live where these roses are and nobody yelled at you? Makes sense. Used to be the Isle of the Hedge Maze. All right.
Alexander pulls out his.
Let's not waste any time. I'm not sure how soon. I'm hoping by the end of February.
Alexander feels a
I'll be
strange
done with
sensation.
Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth of Worlds. And then I'm going to close off the Quest for Glory series with Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire. So to be responsible and plan ahead, I had a few minutes. So I got to work on my overlays so that I will be enclosed in a menu window from Quest for Glory 5 while I'm playing it. And so I didn't listen to any of the dialogue or read it or do anything in the game. But I have seen the intro now, sort of. Because you got to watch it all before you can open up a menu. And oh man. Just like, because I was I was an adolescent in the 90s, right? So there was a lot of, like, you know, weird aggression around video games, and just I got into so many arguments with my friends and genuinely called so many homophobic slurs because I would say that, like, I thought that good 2D graphics were actually better. Like, it's cool to play a game in 3D. Mario 64 is a cool game because its gameplay is in 3D. But we should all be able to look at it honestly and say this looks like shit compared to all the other Mario games. And that's what looking at Quest for Glory 5 reminded me of. And my concern
Pardon
there...
me, maid. I hope you don't think me forward, but I see that you like roses. I thought you might, perhaps, like a fresh white rose.
Alexander can see the conflict in the girl's pretty face as she fights between her distrust of him and her desire for the white rose. The rose wins.
Yes.
Oh, I shouldn't, sir, but it is so lovely. I've never seen a rose of white. It looks so pale and delicate. Wherever did you find one of such a color?
There are many hedges of them on the Isle of the Beast, and they grow together like magic.
Oh, truly? What an adventure that must be to see them. But I should not speak so, especially to a stranger. Thank you for the rose, though, kind sir.
All right, now, let me tell you about my buddy. Alexander, legendary wingman. Yeah, so we're going to listen, you're in the wrong fairy tale. Or I guess in the wrong Disney movie. You're not Cinderella. You're not meant to be Cinderella. You're meant to be Belle. I say Disney movie, not fairy tale, because it's been a long time since I read the fairy tale, the original Beauty and the Beast. But as I recall, there are wicked stepsisters in that. It is not just a nice young lady who lives with her, short, round father. And in the end, they turn the stepsisters into statues who stand at the front gate. Real harsh morality tale there.
Alexander has a thought about the
Ding,
servant
ding,
girl.
ding.
He decides to bring up the subject of Beast with her.
Oh,
Let me tell you about the place where the white roses grow.
you see what that says
The
about
Isle of the
Alexander?
Beast is an enchanted
He had no
place.
agenda with the white
There's
rose.
a path running
Except
through a deep
he
forest.
saw a sad girl.
The path
and he thought
crosses
that it might
3
cheer her up.
magic blockades set to keep all visitors away. At the center lives a tremendous beast.
Really? Magic blockades? How exciting! What kind of a beast? Is it very terrifying and ferocious?
It is a beast that walks
kinda
on
rude.
2 legs and dresses like a prince. It speaks with the voice of a man.
A beast that talks and wears clothes? How is that possible? Is the beast magic too?
Not magical, enchanted. Beast was once a prince, but a witch trapped him in the form of a beast and set him on the island. There he lives in a castle in the midst of a maze.
How terrible! imagine how lonely he must be.
It is a very lonely prospect, isn't it? Oh, I have met him, you see. He
I
is
was just
indeed
about to say.
ferocious, but
Wait.
who would not be?
He really exists? Oh, how it breaks my heart. If I could, I would tend to such a beast. Such a beast might find comfort in a kind face. Do you not think it so?
Oh, I think it's so. I very much think it's so. You would not be afraid of him?
Afraid? Maybe at first. But how silly of me to speak so. The roses in this little yard are the only magic I will ever see.
I could take you there. In fact, I would owe you my life if you would go. If you truly wish to go.
You are serious? I could leave here?
What a guy, our Alex.
Oh, I have always dreamt of leaving.
You didn't even go to the hard sell before being like, are you sure that you wouldn't be afraid of the
This is
beast
the only
man?
home I have ever known.
Home is a hard place to leave, even if you're unhappy there.
But I will go. If I can help him, I must go.
Didn't need that much persuading.
Is there nothing you wish
Oh,
to
sorry.
take?
More details, Clef,
There is nothing.
Then take this ring.
about this callback.
It is his. He will be pleased if you would wear it.
Why, it's the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Thank you kindly, sir.
Beauty! Where do you think you're going?
Oh, so her name's not
Where
Belle, it's
roses
Beauty.
grow, and to
That's
someone
suitable.
who truly needs me.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I see you wear my ring. You willingly agreed to spend your life here with me? Do you know what that means?
Yes, my lord, I do. I have been touched by your story.
Pity alone need not sentence you to endure.
Hey, another,
this.
Oh, but it is
Just
a
cute little
gentle
animal for no
face,
reason. Oh, no,
and
never mind.
kind.
This isn't a
You
cute
look
little
at
animal.
me
This is a
so
terrible animal.
sweetly and are not repulsed. Oh, by the light of your eyes, my spirit soars. The enchantment! It is broken!
I
Whoa.
am pleased to have served you, my lord.
I was not expecting him to have
Do you
barrister
still wish
wigs
me to
on.
stay?
What? Speak not such nonsense, Beauty. Do you think that I learned nothing of true love during my time here? You are my queen.
Oh, my clothes! This gown!
How well it suits your noble heart.
Alexander, how can I ever repay you? I have nothing to offer except my gratitude. But please, take these old clothes. Perhaps you'll find someone in need during your travels.
You have already repaid me by your example of courage, Beauty. And by your friendship, I hope.
You will always have our friendship and
Yeah,
loyalty,
he's-
Prince Alexander. But from a fellow adventurer,
He's a
take some
soft-spoken
advice.
fella.
If you find your true love, protect her with your life. Fear all beasts without the redeeming humanity of love. And to aid you, accept my mirror. Now that my life is no longer hung in false shadows, I have no need for it. Give it to someone with nothing to fear from the truth it reveals.
Thank you.
Okay.
I wish you both well.
Come, Beauty. Let me take you home.
So if you didn't catch much of his dialogue, it largely pertained to being happy. I was going back and forth between salamander or weasel. Way back when Alexander was still talking to her at the wall in her old home, I was just about to say, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense, Clef. Yeah, I was about to say, no one in the Green Isles ever emotes with like their face above the cheekbones. And at the exact moment I was about to open my eyes to say that, Alexander, for like an instant, did a different thing with his eyebrows, and then just went back to being frozen, like Botoxed from the cheeks up. Okay, hey. Yeah, what an odd thing to make up in such detail. I hope that doesn't mean that just like random jerks on the Isle of the Crown have like come along and told her some happy story and then been like, no, I'm just kidding. All my friends are jerks and none of them want to marry a servant girl anyway. So, whoops. Okay, so first, how are we doing? 111. Hey, almost halfway there. And then we obtained some servant girl clothes. And we know what that's going to do, right?
Beauty's old clothes are very ragged and heavy. They consist of a long, thick dress and a headpiece which covers the hair and most of the face.
Which was not true when we saw her in them, but it's convenient now because, yes, we saw a procession of servant girls going into the castle, and now we understand how to get into the castle. At least one of the ways, because the Oracle did say there's multiple ways in. But, yeah, we're going to go the cross-dressing route when it's time to go into the castle. And the other thing is a mirror. What'll Alexander see in the mirror?
Beast's mirror consists of a piece of glass set into a decorative frame. The glass is unusually clear, and the image particularly true.
Beast's mirror consists of a piece of glass and a decorative frame? Like, there are mirrors that don't have a decorative frame. But they're like this, that's different from most mirrors. What an odd, specifically this guy likes his mirrors made of glass and with a decorative frame. Okay. Oh, right, of course. I'm not thinking far enough back in time. The Pier Glass passage from Middlemarch. Great little bit of, I don't know, moral. It's not moral philosophy strictly, but like blending moral philosophy into fiction. George Eliot says that, you know, you take a pier glass and you scuff it up with some you scuff up the pier glass and then she says, you know, if you look at it, it looks like just all scratched, like chaos. But there's some gimmick. I've never tested this, but I don't think that George Eliot would lie about this. If you hold a candle up to a scratched pier glass, it creates the illusion that the scratches are actually like patterned around the candle itself, the candlelight. And so she goes on to say, this is what the world's like. This is what life is like. Life is a bunch of chaos. Like things just happen. But we, the candle, create our own order out of it, in which we are at the center. And then, of course, it's George Eliot. So the point she's trying to make is that we sometimes we ought to, like, you know, move our candle. Imagine how the scratches align themselves around someone else's candle. Kind of like Alexander just did when he was very sensitive to both the beast and to beauty. Okay. So, what to do next? Feels like I've wrapped up here, but I'm not sure. What is this?
The small vial contains the oracle's sacred water. The water has a crystalline appearance.
Got some sacred water, scythe, a red ribbon, rabbit's foot, magic mirror, baby milk. Don't know what to do with the baby milk. Do I mix the baby tears with the... I guess it's worth a try. Love poem?
Alexander has a love poem from a book.
Love poem. Rotten tomato. A sentence. I can't wait to find out what that's for. A skull. That's a skull. That's just a skull. Feather, stink bud, stench bloom, sorry. Strand of hair. Old lamp. But the guy who trades new lamps for old lamps is gone. 2 coins of the Isle of the Sacred Mountain. Lump of coal.
Alexander has a pitch-black lump of coal that he found in the Isle of the Mists.
Ah, another thing that I stole from the druids, but don't feel too bad for them if I go and meet the druids right now. They wicker man me. Lady clothes, paintbrush, but we can swap that for whatever. I don't worry about it. I let the chips fall where they may. So with Quest for Glory, it tends to be that I'm going for the most points in the sense that very often some of those points are about just doing extra good things that aren't really necessary to the story. Because I like to do nice things for fictional characters. And, you know, for real people when I get the chance. It's often simpler to do nice things for real people. And sometimes more complicated. Like if every person, you could just cheer them up by like handing them the right item.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
That'd be a pretty good deal. Okay. So yeah. I think I'm going to head back to the Isle of the Crown, see if anything's changed. Yeah.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Like, right. A Victorian, you know, Victorian orphan. Here, take this coal. You know, be warm on Christmas. Ding, 2 points. We'll see what's going on the Isle of Wonder. I mean, on the Isle of the Crown. Might as well pop back to the Isle of Wonder because I do still have the baby's tears to figure out. Maybe I do, maybe I don't have them. Will the lamp seller just be back now? I was hoping for that and it happened.
Excuse me, peddler, but I have an old lamp that might interest you.
Ah, an old lamp. And what a nice traditional design, too. Take your pick of my new lamps.
Oh, are you kidding me? All right. I am going to toss this out there. Is this an important choice? Can I dead end myself if I pick the wrong lamp? I was really just hoping he'd say, okay. Okay. I will ask one other question before I make this choice. Is there some reason that I should be drawn to a particular, like, has something happened that I am aware of that should make me be like, oh, yeah. That's the lamp for Alex. If it has happened. If I have already encountered the reason that I would want to pick a specific lamp. No. Okay. Okay, well. Now I gravely regret entering into this transaction.
A fine choice, my son.
It's
Here
true.
is your new lamp. Good day, and I thank you, sir.
Good day.
Drat, another dud.
Sir, I'm a wandering prince. I checked the lamp for genies before I ever considered giving it to you. Okay.
Alexander has obtained a new lamp made of blue-colored glass with a tall, thin neck and a cork-like cap.
Yeah, like anyone who finds an old lamp is going to be like, first I'll check this for a genie. And then once I know it's junk, hand it off to the old man. He's just an open book, I guess. Okay. Well, I got 1 point for doing that. I am going to load back to my other save in a moment. To defer picking a lamp. What a thing to spring on me. I never would have I would have saved right before giving it to him. But I have a single thought here. Oh, you can just I should have it should have occurred to me. Just click outside that window and Alexander would be like, "You know, on second thought." Oh well. That's okay. We can load the save. And I will. That's the thing. Like, this is not a role-playing game. But that would not be a very Alex move. Just feel like dangle it and be like, ooh, can you reach it, old man? Oh.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Like he's Patrick Bateman. You know, I've been thinking, you and I don't really have anything in common.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
That'd be a nice touch. I'm sorry, son, but I'm really just trying to find potential genie lamps. I don't think this one thought that I have is anything, and then I will load the save and we'll wait. Gotta get that stick in the mud somehow. There's plenty to do on the Isle of Wonder, that's for sure. Hey, is there a thing on the table now?
There's a small bottle on the coffee table. It bears a label that reads, "Drink me."
Well, I don't know about that. But first, I don't think that this isn't even a theory. I don't know what's going on in my head, really. But
Alexander gives
it's got the baby bells,
a bottle of
baby's
milk.
tears crying.
The other baby's tears seem to resent Alexander's gift for some reason.
Oh, really? What happens?
Would you babies be interested in this?
Ooh.
The baby's
Okay.
tear.
Wow. Well, that sounds frustrating. All right. So yeah, my theory, which doesn't make I literally looked at the lamps and I was like, that blue perfume bottle shaped one looks like you could fill it with tears. Nah. Okay. Let's hang on to the lamp for now. Apologies, old man. And it's probably not wise.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
But we do have to find out what happens when you drink the
Alexander
mysterious
feels a
bottle
strange
labeled Drink
pulling
Me.
sensation.
Maybe. Well, eventually, in the fullness of time, I will somehow figure out what to do with these baby tears. Okay. Get us back down to one that's called active save. And really, what could go wrong? It says drink me right on the bottle. Oh,
Alexander picks up the bottle.
okay. Picking up the bottle, that's all well and good.
The little bottle contains some sort of potion and bears a label saying, "Drink me." That's rather forward of it.
I mean, we gotta know.
Alexander decides to swallow the potion in the bottle labeled "Drink Me" to see what happens. Suddenly, his vision fades to black. His lungs become too heavy to breathe. His heartbeat slows. Then beats no more.
That was good, yeah.
Suddenly, his heart takes a lurch, then beats strong.
I had a feeling as soon as his heart started slowing, I was like, it's not going to just be poison. It's going to be
His chest heaves like that of a newborn.
It's going to be fake out poison. Pretend to be dead poison.
His vision clears, and Alexander feels fine.
Phew. For a minute there, I thought, what if someone else had seen me and thought, sounds?
Oh, do I still just have potion? Or is it empty?
The little bottle contains some sort of potion, and
Oh, great. Sure. Awesome. So there's a Tales from the Crypt story. Yeah, not too much. Not enough to like put them out for days. Just a few hours. You know, this is, I mean, what could go wrong? Geez, you could take a little bit of this and then your lover could come and kill himself because he thinks you're dead. And then you could wake up and you kill yourself. And then your parents feel bad. Like, oh, why didn't we just let them date? Yeah, there's a Tales from the Crypt story where some old, some academic scientist type guy has his colleague over in the evening to discuss things. And it comes out that the two of them have had a debate about what happens when you die. And the host, his theory has been, well, like the senses are somehow like in all the cells. Yeah. Yeah, you will get famous. They'll write songs about you in the late 70s, I think, that they insist are not about teen suicide, even though they include the lines, Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. We can be like they are. Come on, baby. Don't fear the Reaper. Yeah, the Tales from Crypt comic, he has this theory. It's something like, our senses are present in all of our cells, and even when we die, the body still has its senses or something like that. And he's been mocked and ridiculed, including by his colleague, for the absurdity of this. And then all of a sudden, his colleague is like, oh no, and falls over. And now we're in the perspective of the colleague who is still seeing what's going on. And he's like, and the two of them are, or the two of them, who's the other person? The assistant of the guy who's just poisoned his colleague to prove a point. And they start going through the whole, like, oh, we've got to embalm him and, we're going to drain his blood. And they're doing all this stuff. And, he's thinking like, oh, this guy's like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Turns out he was right. And he's killed me to prove it, which is horrifying. And then the twist at the end is that his colleague is like, all right, so Johan or whatever his name is, you're not dead. Like, I just wanted you to see why it's plausible. And so I gave you like something that would stop your heart. And then that would put you in a paralytic state. And then it will wear off. Except the stress of the situation has given the narrator a heart attack. And so the final frame is from his perspective still, because it turns out the guy's theory is right. When you are dead, you're still seeing out of your own corpse. And so the last frame is the fake poisoner in terror being like, wake up, because he did not mean to kill his colleague. But he did. And he'll never know that his theory is right until he dies. Man, all of those Tales from the Crypt comics really messed me up when I was a child. Not the comics themselves, which I didn't read till later in life, but all the short storyified ones that were in 6 volumes collected in our school library, our elementary school library. Who knows what kind of normal person I could have grown up to be. What here could possibly do anything? Yeah, I don't necessarily lament how it all worked out.
What would a dogwood tree do with that?
Well, what if we tied the ribbon to it so that we could pull ourselves out of the swamp?
Why would Alexander want to throw that in the swamp?
I'm just spitballing here, man. I don't need your judgment. But okay, at some point, faking my own death so that they bury me alive? I don't know. I don't know exactly how Alex is going to use this fake death potion, but we'll figure it out. I've got the magic, the holy or sacred water or whatever. Well, he'd have to chug the whole thing. Yeah, but yeah, that's true. If you come to very quickly, is it just, am I going to poison somebody else? I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the fullness of time. Okay. Ooh, that's true. I really am interested to see. Are we going to wind up, like, did they make that underworld screen just for the game over screen? Or are we going to journey to the underworld? I don't remember, even though I've beaten this game, I don't remember anything. It has not rung a bell at any point. I don't know why. Because it's great. Like, I'm very confident I'll remember this game now. Okay, what do I have now that the bees are going to want? I don't know. I'm baffled by this part. Here, you want this like quill feather?
To use that on a pile of books.
What if I use it on this open book?
There's no reason to use that object there.
Like it was a pen or something. No. When you get when the message gets that generic, you really know you're barking up the wrong tree. Why would you use that thing on that part of the screen? Okay. Well, I'm not into brute forcing this yet, so, and I'm not even sure I can, because I can't derive any logic for why any of those things would do anything for me. So, I don't know. Well, it's not like I'm taunting the old peddler
pulls out his magic
if I just don't give him the lamp, because he doesn't know I have it. It's in my very, very, very deep magical pockets. So let's go check out the rest of the Isle of the Crown.
Sensation.
Yeah, that's true. Although, like some, I mean, you know, there's baby bottle plants. There's baby plants. They go together. There's bits of logic. It's wacky logic. But it makes sense. Okay. Checking out the rest of the place. Anything new happening in the pawn shop?
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Well, our favorite jerk is here. Want to talk to me, buddy?
Haven't I seen you somewhere before, sir?
No!
But I'm quite sure. Perhaps on some cliffs.
No!
Isle of the Beast?
No!
Dockside?
No! Leave me alone!
Not very friendly, is he?
No, he's a real jerk. It's true. I don't know. Any new dialogue, shopkeep?
How fare you, good merchant?
Thankfully, I fare better than my business. My shop is as silent as the moon these days.
Maybe if you refilled the mint dish, you'd do some more business. I mean, I want to hang on to the paintbrush because it's the only of the 4 pawn shop items I haven't used yet. I'll see what's up in the bookstore, if anything. Go see if the wicked stepmother wants to yell at me for costing her the free help.
Hello. I will be right up. Now, what can
Right. I remember that now. I honestly don't know, sir. But how's it going? Anything new?
How fare you, merchant?
I have been
Nothing. Well,
Good day again. How may I help you?
let's say that right now, I'm satisfied with being told to pixel hunt. Because, yeah, it's certainly like, it's not obvious to me that there's an item here. Let's click around.
A padded leather chair, a small table, and a fuzzy rug have been arranged into a cheery reading area near the fire.
Okay. Well, let me see what I can do.
A wooden chandelier with small red candles is suspended from the ceiling. There's a small table near the door that bears a sign. The sign has undergone a number of changes. It once read 10 pence, but that was crossed out and replaced with 5 pence, then 1 pence, then free. The sign currently reads, "Take one, please." The table is now empty.
Yeah, I remember that. And probably I can't just take the sign too, just in case.
The table is empty.
Yeah, so let's take it, Alex.
Alexander rests his feet for a moment. Alexander picks up and leafs idly through a book called The Changing Role of Court Entertainers Through the Ages. Well, that was refreshing.
How much for that book on the counter, merchant?
It is a fine book, is it not? I obtained it from the estate of the one and only magician this kingdom has ever had. Poofed himself into an aardvark.
Very much so.
Oh, so I heard. I never found the spells all that useful myself, but then I lead a bold
If I look over
life.
here,
I tell
where
you
the
what,
window
if you can
is
find
much
another
smaller, the
rare
window
book,
being captured to
something
appear on my
a
monitor
bit
screen
more
here.
marketable,
It's very,
I
very clearly
might
there.
be willing to exchange the spell book for it.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't even paying attention to what you said. Something more marketable? What about this really boring book that I took for free?
Might I return this?
Please, I had a hard enough time getting rid of that book in the...
Okay, hold on. What did you just say, sir?
How might I obtain that spell book again?
As I said, I would take another rare book in exchange.
Oh. Methinks a quest line do I perceive. But for now, let's finish wandering the relatively few number of screens. Oh, come on. The mean stepmother should come out and yell at me now. Yeah. Don't worry, though. We consummated, so the curse is gone.
Oh, it's you. Come on in. How goes it, Alexander?
Oh, pretty good. I'm just going to point some items at you and see if you care for any of them. How do you feel about perceiving the truth?
Would you be at all interested in this?
Nah.
That's an interesting philosophical question, PJ. Depends on a lot of things. Here, you want to drink some weird poison? The Green Isles version of the knockout game?
Would you be at all interested in this?
Just some free coins?
What
Free
need
coins?
is a poor dry dock ferryman for that?
Well, it's money. You're dry docked, man. No, okay. Okay. I won't come back. I won't bother you again until I can think of a reason why.
Thanks again for your hospitality.
You're always welcome, Alexander. Come back anytime.
All right. Head over to the castle for a moment, and then let's see if just the knowledge of wanting a rare book opens up perhaps some dialogue with the Bookworm or something. Blows that whole screen wide open. Yeah. So, I have these 7 really cool things. You interested? He's just trying to hide his jealousy. No. Just a dry dock frame, man. What do I need that for?
A group of serving women approach the castle.
Ah, Wolf. More serving women. The castle staff is certainly busy today.
Thank you for the reminder, game.
Gruff. Get
But
up
I
right there,
remembered this
wenches.
part all on
There's
my own.
Plenty of work left to do before the wedding.
Yes, Sergeant Gruff.
Alexander has to grab the back one and drag her
All
off.
serving wenches are
Just
always
listen.
late.
Take these 2 coins and be happy. I need to be the orange reddish clad one. I wonder if that's what the hair will turn out to be. If at some point while in drag, Alexander can use a single woman's hair to sell the illusion that he is truly a servant girl. Doesn't look like there's anything here. Unless... Well, I have a thought. But it's a sell for later. More modern big franchise games should have pun titles. Pun subtitles, sorry. Instead, like, our subtitles for sequels and stuff nowadays are always just like reloaded, rearmed, reborn, resurrection.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
I'm trying to think of even in a single good example that's not just... I mean, I guess like probably there's a lot of games with the subtitle Apocalypse or some shit. Whatever happened to just taking an aphorism and putting a pun in it for your subtitle? Excuse me, Bookworm.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book.
No owner? All books have owners, my good man. And this book owner, Bookworm to you, wouldn't part with one of his books for anything.
Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book?
Let's see. Do you have an itinerant clause?
No. No clauses at all, I'm afraid.
No, hold on.
Exception, you always should.
Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know. Let's see. A marsh pig that does Texas?
No. I'm afraid not.
A dangling participle?
I'm fresh out.
A purple fiddle whacker?
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
An idiosyncrasy, perhaps?
Afraid not.
Ha! Then what good are you?
It was good. That was good. This is appealing to me as a teacher of technical writing.
Alexander sees no use for that item there.
Are you sure, Alexander?
There's no reason. There's no reason to. There's no reason. There's no reason. There's no reason to use that. There's no reason to. Alexander sees no use for that item there.
Okay. I mean, I know enough about grammar that I know that "where are you going" is not any of the kinds of things he asked for.
Oddly enough, a sentence. It says, "Where are you going?"
Okay, hold on a second.
Are you there, most venerable Bookworm?
Do you have anything interesting yet?
A regular abnormality?
Let me see what I have. I have a sentence. Would that do?
An incomplete one, I suppose.
Why, actually, it is incomplete.
Just as I suspected. Incomplete sentences are a dime a dozen. Why, you can literally just find them floating about. Complete sentences. Ooh, now there's something that's hard to come by these days.
I see. Sorry.
Okay, hold on. What?
Alexander is carrying, oddly enough, a sentence. It says, "Where are you going?"
That's a complete sentence. Indeed, I did. "Where are you going" is a complete sentence, unless the problem is just that it's missing a question mark. It's an interrogative sentence. But yes, it certainly does. It sounds like either "I will find another part somewhere," or... Hold on. I don't think this actually makes any sense.
That won't complete the sentence.
Okay. But at least our mission is clear. "Where are you going" is... it's bugging me that it's a complete sentence already.
That won't complete the sentence. Alexander rubs the object against the rabbit's foot, hoping it will spread good luck.
I see what you're saying. The reason I tried the dagger is because if they wanted to say, "Where are you going to now?" or something like that. I thought maybe the dagger, if we cut "going" off, "Where are you?" But I guess he doesn't want... He wants something more complete. Well, at least now I know to whom I'm going to give the sentence. Is there any reason this would complete the sentence? Of course not.
That won't complete this.
Was that an important plot point in a mystery? Yeah. You could make it a more emphatic sentence. Where the hell are you going? Okay. Okay. Something to think about. Hold on. Okay.
Alexander sees nothing of interest there. There is no reply.
No reply. Okay. I was thinking, like, can the spelling bees create a word for me? Ah. This is a wild pivot from exactly the idea of a character in a show explaining grammar. But in my technical writing class, I often have the students deal with logic puzzles. Which puts me in mind of, there's an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where one of the subplots is that Holt, you know, the cultured, mannered police captain, has been tormented by a logic puzzle that he can't figure out for like his entire career. And it's like a 12-item balance puzzle or something, like some ridiculously simple balance puzzle. And it's just so frustrating to me to watch it and be forced to accept the pretense that Holt just can't figure out how to take like 12 items and figure out the one counterfeit one that is heavier or lighter using only 3 weighings. I can't remember the exact form of the balance puzzle it was, but basically it's one of the ones where to complete the balance puzzle most efficiently, you need to realize that if you divide the total number of objects into 3 piles and then compare 2 of them, you will get information about the other pile. Because if like we go 4, 4, 4, and then we put the 2 on and they're balanced, then we know that the counterfeit object is in the other 4. And so we can eliminate 8 objects at a time from 12, for example. It's not necessarily super intuitive. I give my students literally a version of that. And they're the engineers of tomorrow, and they don't consistently figure it out. Some of them get the second most efficient possible solution instead of the most efficient. But they get there, and it doesn't take them 30 years. Okay. So, to complete the sentence. Why is there a colon in the sentence? After where? A person named where? Okay. But that raises the same question. Where are you going?
Alexander is carrying a human skull.
Well, hold on. Let's look inside the skull and see if there's a word
Alexander
there.
examines the skull and feels a sense of his own mortality.
Yeah. Human skull will do that. A memento mori. Okay. Well, I got something to chew on anyway. Figure out what's going on here.
The 2 coins from the skeleton in the catacombs are extremely old and corroded.
I can't remember if there has been any...
Alexander doesn't need to do that to the corroded coins.
I can't remember if there's been a single use the item on another item yet. I know that I had to use, like, touch the ribbon to get the hair. I don't know.
Alexander
I'll head
pulls
back to the
out his
Isle of the
magic
Mists.
map.
See what's going on there.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Great gods, did you see that? The man just appeared from nowhere.
Perhaps he was sent by the spirits. I see no boat.
He is an intruder, no matter how...
No, it's right
he got
now.
here. Grab him!
Not again. Look, I'll leave. It's no problem.
I think not. Let's go.
Alexander is frozen at the spectacle before him. Robed figures are gathered around a bonfire. Some mystical ceremony is taking place, but as to its purpose, Alexander has no clue.
We found a trespasser on the
And
seashore.
fairly so.
Uh-oh. Archdruid. Now what has Alexander wandered into?
This must be the foreigner we were warned about. How appropriate that he should come during our rain festival. Place him in the sacrificial cage.
Wait! I must rescue the princess!
There's an ancient druid saying, a man who would save others must first save himself.
Alexander is pushed into the confinement.
I saw an interview with Nicolas Cage once where... Ooh, I gotta do some stash tending after this. I saw an interview with Nicolas Cage once
Out over the bonfire.
where they were asking him about the remake of The Wicker Man, and he was saying something to the extent of
Alexander
like,
starts to feel a little warm.
some people think that like it was a failure on our part, that a lot of the
The
movie
bottom of
is
the cage getting
ridiculous.
uncomfortably hot.
He's like, but to me, that was part of what we were going for.
Alexander
Which I'm
is
not
getting
sure that
really hot.
what's his name, the
Mercifully, Alexander
dyspeptic
passes
playwright
out from
that
the heat
directed it,
before the first tongues of flame
Neil
ignite the
LaBute,
wicker.
would also agree with. But where am I going with this? Oh yeah, he said that what I thought would have hammered it home,
Feeling
but
hot
Neil
and
disagreed
sweaty?
with me, so he didn't
Try
do
a
it.
shower.
I thought at the end when they when they kill me, I should have still been wearing the bear suit. I thought that would have really driven the whole like tongue-in-cheek thing home. And indeed, perhaps it would have. I mean, I've never seen the whole remake film, but I've seen the like YouTube supercut of the cagiest moments in the film. And I think it comes across pretty clearly that at least Nicolas Cage, if not the like Neil LaBute and the rest of the cast and crew, Nicolas Cage was definitely aware that this was goofy. I love Nicolas Cage. I would never try to stand up and say like every film, Nicolas Cage films are all great, because in fact he's made some poor films, but he never phones it in. One of my favorite Cage quotes. He was being interviewed and he said, people say my acting style is over the top, but I don't like that phrase over the top because there's no top to your imagination. Yeah, it really is. You can easily imagine LeVar Burton saying that in a totally different like context and tone of voice. Okay. Do I have anything that seems like swamp magic-y? If If I pour the oracle water in the swamp, will it turn
Why
into...
would Alexander want to throw that in the swamp?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I've got a bunch of new items that are yet to involve themselves at all. Well, here's a thought. Not sure if it's anything. But I might as well try all of my thoughts. Go figure. Hey, fairness to Roberta. Her swamps.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Even the swamp in Perils of Rosella, where you have to type jump again and again and again, but it makes you think maybe you can walk through an invisible maze. Even that's not as cruel as Blighttown. Or for that matter, the Valley of Defilement. Or for that matter, just all the poison swamp that's in pretty much every one of those games. And then in Elden Ring, it's not even a poison swamp. It's the what's that stuff called? The Scarlet Bloom. Yes, the Lake of Rot. Ugh. Man, that was a good game. Elden Ring. Okay. What am I just thinking now? What was I going to do?
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Millennia? Yeah. There are 2 bosses in that game I didn't beat on my first playthrough. And then I got derailed because it's a very long game. So my second playthrough, I didn't wind up getting far enough. My second playthrough, I was specifically trying to build a character that I could beat Millennia with. Because the first time I played as like a greatsword guy, and I just did not. I did not have the... It was not a good match for me to beat Millennia there. So I heard her say the line a lot of times.
Good day.
Ah, never mind. I came here thinking, what if the guy's here and I show him the mirror? Why? Why would that even help? Okay. Go figure that the 2 sessions where I started not knowing what to do next, things really got rolling. And then I start knowing exactly what to do next. And now here I am all stymied. Well, you know what? I might as well at least read the descriptions of all his lamps.
But I have an old lamp that might interest you.
Ah, an old lamp. And what a nice traditional design, too. Take your pick of my new lamps.
One of the lamp seller's lamps is squat and red with a corked top. One of the lamp seller's lamps is a small green metal lamp. The handles on either side of the lamp remind Alexander of a sugar bowl.
Okay.
One of the lamp seller's lamps is long and narrow. It's open at either end like a lantern and is made of flowered blue paper.
Ooh.
One of the lamp seller's lamps looks quite similar to Alexander's hunter's lamp, but is shiny and new. Its spout is only decorative, unlike Alexander's lamp, and is plugged with brass. One of the lamp seller's lamps has an open oriental style and is made of decorated papered fabric.
I think I've changed my mind.
That was a great use of the eyebrow shifting.
As you wish, sir.
Well, that's the one I took last time, so I've heard the description. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, I know about some lamps. Alright. Take stock. I have the whole... Can I get onto the island of the druids?
Lamps for new.
Alright, let's get a little distance and continue thinking. Can I... Okay, what I need to do, among other things, I need to complete the sentence to get the book, to get the spellbook. I need to figure out something to do with the crying baby tears, but I don't know what yet. I need to figure out a way to get onto the Isle of Mist, probably, without getting killed by druids. Unless the whole isle... I can't imagine the whole Isle of Mist is just there so that Alexander can grab some coal and a scythe and run away forever. Oh, pardon me. And... I'm just done with the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, I think. Was I, in fact, done with the Isle of the Beasts? I think I am, but I don't know. And it's not like it's so hard to go check them out. So let's do that. Eventually, they will release Elden Ring DLC, and then I'll use that as the occasion
Alexander pulls out his magic map
to go back into that game and beat Millennia with my samurai character who fights with a katana, or alternates between being a samurai and a fencer, I suppose. It's just a swordsman character, swords lady. My favorite Dark Souls build, Souls-like build, is not at all like optimized to do anything, but spell fencer, like a rapier in one hand and a spell casting implement in the other. You won't find that in any like advice. You won't find that in a wiki telling you how to do well at anything in Dark Souls, but it's fun. So what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
Alexander feels
Why
a
don't I
strange pulling sensation.
go check the Isle of the Beast? Just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure. But maybe not. Oh, of course. Of course, there's something weird and new.
There's an odd little creature dangling from that tree branch.
An odd little golden-eyed creature.
Hello, friend. Aren't you an odd-looking little fellow?
I'm not odd-looking, you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you could speak.
Speak not. Funny is, speech I am and nothing but.
What? Here, look in this mirror for a second.
Would you be interested in this?
No.
That I like not. Take it away, do.
He definitely doesn't want the mirror of truth.
You speak strangely, friend.
Strange, my speech is not. Eloquence I speak with.
But who are you? And why are you here?
Away I fly my home from. Lost I am, therefore. Has my name, too? Can you guess not? It's what I do this branch with, and the way I speak of.
Is your name upside down?
If you're lost, perhaps I can take you home.
Take me home, too? Think not I do. Know you I do not.
Are you sure you don't want me to try to find your home?
Trust you I do not. Stay here I will.
How do you feel about a more normally structured sentence?
Alexander holds the sentence out to the creature.
This sentence seems in need of an ending. Perhaps you could finish it?
Where are you going? Where are you going? Know what I do. Where are you going to? Like you I do. Go I with you?
Well, that was certainly interesting. It looks like Alexander now has a passenger.
Fascinating. Okay. Weird. Is it just a coincidence that his eyes are gold, or has Alexander really put himself in an awkward position here?
One end of the creature resembles a miniature dragon, while the other looks like a possum. What a strange-looking fellow.
Take me home to...
And I no longer have the sentence.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
I should have realized, given how often the islands seed with new things as you advance, that going back... You can't just disguise yourself as one creature, Shamir.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
You gotta branch out. You want to talk about sentences, buddy? I got a guy who makes the weirdest sentences.
Hello, Bookworm. I have something you might be interested in.
Well, what is it this time?
I found this little fellow lost on another island.
Coming home I am too.
There you are, you naughty boy. I told you not to leave the island.
Glad I am seeing you too.
A most solemn celebration.
So, you found my dangling participle. I suppose I'll have to give you something.
That's
let's see
that's
now.
good.
Was it a rare
That's good
book
stuff.
you wanted?
Yes, sir.
Well, then none of these will do. They've been sitting in the sun far too long and must be well cooked by now. This one is far more rare. A delicious little tidbit.
Thanks.
Yeah, when I tried to think of what his name might be, I got stuck on dangling modifier, and I was like, he's not a dangling modifier, though. I should have realized. I don't know what show it was. I remember seeing, it was like, must have been like a 70s sitcom.
Alexander is carrying
But
a rare book from
I just remember
the store.
seeing
The
the
words
character
on
actually just
binding
tells
are
a
very
joke.
faint. The
But they're at dinner, and she's telling a joke about
something riddle
being from the South. She says, you know, like a Southerner is having dinner with a Northerner. And she says, hey, where y'all from? And the Northerner says, we're from a place where we don't end our sentences with prepositions. And the Southerner says, oh, I'm sorry. Where y'all from, bitch? Funny enough, it stuck with me forever.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Sure hope the spellbook has resist fire. It's a good one. The riddle form joke that I laughed the hardest at in my life, although I was a child when I heard it, so it's not because it's so sophisticated or even because it's particularly that good, but it stuck with me for that reason, is why does a seagull fly over the sea? Are you ready for this? Because if it flew over the bay, it would be a bagel.
Hello. I will be right up. Now, what can I do for you?
I must have been 11 years old, and I laughed when my friend told me that until I almost died.
I found this rare book, and I thought of your offer.
Very interesting. Oh, it is a wonderful riddle book. Riddles are much more marketable.
Oh man, I should have.
these days. I guess people believe more in mirth than in magic. Here is the spell book you wanted, and a fair trade it is, I must say. Enjoy it.
I certainly hope so. We shall see how rusty my spellcasting truly is.
Okay. Yeah, gotta find out what happens when you read the riddle book, because probably you get to hear a dumb riddle, so. Yeah. It's true. That one's clearer and more direct. Okay. Little annoying to have to do all this just to inspect an item that I should have just inspected. But we can do this.
Pulls out his magic map.
Yeah, I mean, like Alexander. That's true. That's true, Clef.
Alexander feels a strange pulling.
I feel like Alexander is the most clearly characterized in a way of the people, even if like most of it you do in your own mind when you're playing King's Quest 3. A little bit slower if you're clicking on the islands out of sequence. But, all right, skipping the dialogue.
Alexander.
Hello, friend. Oh. You speak, but
Oh, that's
if you're... Are you sure?
trust you.
Oh yeah? Well, just you wait.
Alexander holds the sentence out to the creature.
Right.
Where you go? No, and I like you.
Didn't even notice that part. I just thought, hey, I bet this guy's here now because I've tripped a
That was
flag.
certainly interesting. It looks
And then when he
like
started
Alexander
talking
now
weird,
is
I
a
was just like, all right.
passenger. Alexander feels.
Although when you think about it, the fact that the bookworm was like, oh my goodness.
Thanks, no. Me want it not.
Ah, I was hoping for dialogue there. Once you'd made that point.
Hey, get that out of my face! Yeah.
I guess that's like a dialogue. If you just imagine them both objecting
Hello,
at the same time.
Well,
What do you think about it? If he asked me for a dangling preposition, and then I was like, well,
there you
a
are.
dangling participle,
Naughty
and he was like,
boy.
well,
I told
Well, I...
A most...
and then you show him the sentence, and he's like, well, that's not
Found
complete
my
because a dangling participle.
Yes, sir.
Well, this one is far more rare.
All right, don't let me down, Gene.
Alexander is carrying a rare book from the Bookworm. The words in the binding are very faint. The something riddle book. Alexander opens the rare book and looks inside. The book contains riddles and has a page missing. Alexander glances at a few of the conundrums, but finds himself more curious about the one that is missing. What was the riddle, he wonders? More importantly, what was the answer?
Okay, wow. I was just hoping that the description would include a riddle.
The book contains riddles and has a page missing. Alexander glances at a few of the conundrums, but finds him. What was the riddle, he wondered?
What's going on here?
Alexander opens the rare book and looks inside. The book contains riddles and has a page missing. Alexander glances at a few of the conundrums, but finds himself more curious about the one that is missing. What was the riddle, he wonders? More importantly, what was the answer? The book contains riddles and has a page. What was the riddle? The book contained. What was the? The book and what was the?
Well, I must know. Is there something I can do with this before I hand it off? Because I don't want to put everyone through watching me spend an hour just like clicking on everything the entire game on this book. If really I'm just supposed to hand it off. Excuse me, this page missing.
There's no reason to use that on a pot.
No. Okay. Well, let's take notice.
Alexander opens. The book contains riddles and has a page missing.
Right.
Alexander glances at a few of the conundrums, but finds himself more curious about the one that is missing.
The border of the torn page has some
Riddle,
bright
he
blue
wonders.
stuff.
More importantly, what was the answer?
Is it just the page from before that I memorized? Or that Alex memorized? I don't remember anything about it. I created a whole separate save, and yet now it's like,
Alexander pulls out his
why not
map.
just do it again? The authentic way.
Alexander feels a...
Checking how I am for time. Pretty good. I do once again have a hardish stop. Although it isn't my night to cook, so that's nice. But we do have company. Coming this evening. So I gotta make myself presentable. Probably like take out the trash, stuff like that. Wait, I don't have to take out the trash because I already did. Well, just almost certainly.
Old lamp!
Oh, sir. I surely you know that I remember
Hello?
what you're looking for.
Now.
But here we go.
I
And then
found this
fingers
rare
crossed
book,
that there's a
and
spell
I
of
thought your
resist
offer.
flame.
Very interesting. Oh, it is a
Or
wonderful
Swamp
riddle
Walk.
book.
I'll take
Riddles
Swamp
are
Walk.
much more marketable than spells these days. I guess people believe more in mirth than in magic. Here is the spell book you wanted, and a fair trade it is, I must say. Enjoy it.
I certainly hope so. We shall see how rusty
I've got a
my
very
spellcasting
frustrating,
truly
like,
is.
10% of an oncoming sneeze right now. Fortunately, there's a convenient mute. Convenient once you know it's there. Because we had those issues where I accidentally muted myself and couldn't figure out how. So even if it comes on me suddenly, I will try my best not to just sneeze directly into the microphone.
Alexander is carrying a book from the bookshop. The cover says, Ye Old Spell Book.
Sure. Oh, right. Just like with the riddle book. Actually, hold on. Ooh. Magic paint spell. I can imagine ways in which this will be important. So, the magic paint spell requires a cup of swamp ooze. Well, I know where to get that. River Styx water, increasing my belief that we're going to actually go to the underworld. 1 black horse feather. We have that. Add Styx water to swamp ooze and cup. Stir with horse feather. Apply on blank surface to artist brush. Speak incantation over painting to materialize. Incantation. Magic paint, black as ink. That would be very easy to miss, but as I had spotted that. Because I thought there's no way Alexander is going to content himself with 1 page of a spellbook. He's an old hand at this. Alexander loves figuring out how to use multiple different spells to accomplish his goals. Magic paint, black as ink. Bring to life what I think. Make it real what I draw, according to this spoken law. Well, I hope that's something more than just another way into the castle is to paint a door on the side wall there. Because we're doing drag. Make rain spell. A few drops of salt water not from the sea. 1 vial of sacred water. And some falling water. First, mix salt and sacred waters in a teapot. Then, add falling water. No. I'm sure there is a good joke to be made about what his second form is, but I don't have it in my mind. All right, first, mix the salt and the sacred waters in a teapot. So I need a teapot. Then add falling water. Speak incantation over a teapot to enchant. Heat to boiling to activate. Clouds of thunder, shafts of light. All right, of course. Yeah, Gwydion the Wretched. Or Wretched Gwydion. Clouds of thunder, shafts of light, come and sup with me tonight. Waters 3 I have for tea. Brew a tempest now for me. So if we have to fight a fire or a dragon, a thing that makes fire. Charming a creature of the night spell. 1 skull full of hot oak embers. A bit of sulfur. Brimstone. 1 strand of a pure-hearted maiden's hair. Got it? Add hair and brimstone to the skull of embers. In the presence of creature, speak incantation over skull. Creature of night, to me succumb. Fire and brimstone leave thee numb. Purity bind thee like a chain. To do whate'er I now ordain.
This is the last page.
3-page book. 6-page, I guess, technically. But 3-leaf book. Okay. Well. I've got a skull. Oak embers sounds like something that I get after I use the Make Rain spell to survive the Druid ritual. So I need a teapot. Or, no, that's the Tempest one. Hold on. Oh, wow. I feel bad for that person. Not that I haven't made some silly oversights, but that's a painful one to realize it was just and it's a little like it's finicky where they could have like graphically made the page like it's like curled or dog-eared a little bit. Okay, so gonna do some Roadrunner shit with this magic paint. But okay. And then, there's a waterfall somewhere. But okay. I need a teapot. Get it? Get it? A Tempest in a teapot? Okay. None of these lamps are teapots. I don't think. Pawn shop now have a teapot for sale.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Ho ho ho. We're steeped in trouble now. He does not have a teapot. Was there a teapot in the bookstore? No.
Good day again.
It is a good day. Do we drink tea while we're hanging out in here? I can't remember. It's worth checking.
Oh, it's you. Come on in.
No, we're not in here drinking tea.
How goes it, Alex?
Unless...
A cabinet with a dry sink lines one wall of the cabin. Several oil lamps are strategically placed around the boat's... A cabinet with a dry...
No. Okay. Couldn't even offer me a spot of tea and then also to keep your teapot in exchange for some object.
You're always welcome,
Jeez.
Alexander.
Have I seen a teapot anywhere? Well, a nice thing is that the game world is not maze-like, except for the maze. That was extremely maze-like. But, you know, we can peek around. I don't think any of those lamps were also teapots, right? Dirty pool, if that's what the game is doing to me. But okay, it's great to have focus. I mean, I could be wrong, but it really does feel like the Make It Rain spell gets us through the druids. And then there's some oaken embers. Put them in a skull. Obviously, the paintbrush will come into play with the other thing. The magic paint.
Pulls out his magic map.
And so, I mean,
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Maybe it would be a little copyright sensitive, but there's certainly a teapot in Beauty and the Beast, so who knows? Be silly not to at least check. It could also be, go back to the Isle of Wonder. Now there's a teapot on that little tea table. Just like before, there was the fake your own death magic. Excuse me, friends. Can I raid your china cupboard?
A
falling
in the middle of
water.
The clearing bubbles with fresh, glittering water. An iron gate leads to a maze of hedges. the gate has been firmly shut and latched. It looks like the prince and his beauty need some time alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They really need some time alone, and they're doing their best to get it. I should have given them the scythe as a wedding present. I mean, maybe there's something to revisiting the Isle of Wonder. I mean, the Isle of the Sacred Men. But also, I mean, why wouldn't I revisit lots of places? So let's do it.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
This is really a terrific game. This is a big, I think, big step forward in figuring out how to make a fun adventure game with a point-and-click interface. Not that King's Quest V did not have its charms.
An elegant padded chair provides a cushy seat from which to enjoy the lively garden.
But looks like there's something sitting on it. Can we go back in, borrow a teapot? Hey, gentlemen.
Your Highness may as well spend her royal time contemplating something else. The lump of coal shall be sent to the Castle of the Crown under my name, and that's all there is to it.
No, it shan't.
Yes, it shall.
If the coal is sent in your name, I shall royally decree a ban on all red on this isle.
You do, and I shall royally decree that white shall be henceforth used for all mopping up of cabbage stew.
You wouldn't dare!
Oh, wouldn't I?
Oh, it's you! Have you thought of any more of those brilliant ideas of yours?
You wouldn't dare to retaliate against me in the exact same way that I lashed out at you. I do have an idea, ladies. Cut the lump of coal in half. No.
The Red Queen already has a lump of coal.
Let's go, sister.
Polish!
Oh, come on, ladies. Come on, interface. I was just saying, give it to them both. All right. Fine. They'll come back, right? If this is a dead man walking, fine, I just saved, but that would be absurd. Okay, good.
Give me the lump of coal, Your Highness.
I won't, Your Highness.
You shall give it to me. That's my decree.
And I decree rather not.
They definitely have a,
My decree is more recent than yours.
play
I decree again. Hand it over.
type throw coal at
decree
White
further.
Queen into
Your
the
Highness shall never have it.
into the text parser before you enter the screen.
You want as if we weren't busy enough.
Yeah, they very obviously, despite their protestations, like to carry on, and they like to have witnesses to their stupid fights.
I found the two of you another lump of coal, so that you can stop fighting over the one you have.
Oh, let me see. A lump of coal. And what a beauty it is, too. Oh, marvelous. Now we can stop fighting, sister. Your Highness can just keep the old lump of coal, and I'll take this new one.
Are they gonna start fighting over who gets the new one?
Quite right. That settles everything.
Oh.
As a token of our endless esteem and royal favor,
Free
please
teapot?
accept this magnificent and truly incredible spoiled egg.
Thanks.
Great line read.
Let me see that lump of coal, Your Highness. It is a beauty, isn't it? Why, it's bigger than my lump of coal.
There we go.
Let me have it immediately. Over my dead body, Your Highness. It's my lump of coal, and it is indeed larger and much grander. Just look at that sheen. I demand you exchange with me immediately.
Yeah, that was a good scene for Alex. Both that one beautiful line reading. No, PJ, you were predicting the future. We're more than halfway there. Okay, so a little disappointed because the spoiled egg is for sulfur, right? It does make sense, although the knights both seem to get along, at least fairly well. But yeah, it's like they're bickering. It's love bickering, you know. The White Queen and the Red Queen are clearly, you know, they wouldn't know what to do without each other.
Can I pass into your fair land?
Heavens, no! No humans allowed in chessboard land. Never have been, never will be.
I was actually just asking if either of you had a spare teapot, but okay, thank you. Well, let me quickly remind myself. No.
Those snapdragons don't like Alexander getting so close.
Not even that close. Come on, fellas. Okay. Just keep reminding myself about the spells here. There is a teacup on the chair? Okay. There. All right.
Alexander takes the teacup.
This is a problem I've created for myself in my real life sometimes, Clef. Missing important details because I cannot shut the fuck up. But okay. Now we're cooking. Now we're brewing. I love doing spells and rituals in game, in adventures and RPGs.
It would be pointless to use that on the bottle of potion.
And that is indeed not what I was trying to do, sir.
There's no reason to put that in the teacup.
Are you quite certain? Do I get the baby tears first?
Alexander gives one of the baby's tears a bottle of milk. The other baby's tears seem to resent Alexander's gift for some reason.
For some reason, Mr. Narrator? Is this that much of a mystery?
Why would Alexander want to put tears in a teacup?
No, okay.
Why would Alexander want to put tears in a teacup?
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too. Thank you, Mr. Narrator. Okay. We're working on it. Well, I mean, I have this, but...
Alexander collects some of the baby's tears in the old hunter's lamp.
Okay, and now it just works? Because I've tried that before. But okay. Maybe I was just clicking wrong. It obviously looks more teapot-like. There it is. So why would he want to do that? Alexander turns the skull upside down so that the tears won't drip out of the jaw and the nose. Okay. Okay. Step 2.
Alexander pours the contents of the oracle's vial into the hunter's lamp with the baby's tears. The vial, now empty of its sacred fluid, disintegrates.
Okay, great. So I don't need to figure out how to repurpose an empty vial.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Oh, wow. Makes sense. Like, Alexander, just like with the poison, just have a sip.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Well, it's sacred. It surely must taste good. So you can see where the temptation comes from to guzzle it. It's actually really smartly designed how it kind of gets you to revisit areas.
Alexander fills the hunter's lamp to the brim with the fountain water.
Let's review. Make rain. Okay. Mix the salt and sacred waters in a teapot. Add the falling water. Speak incantation over the teapot to enchant. Heat to boiling to activate.
Alexander prepares to enchant the hunter's lamp with the Make Rain spell incantation.
Clouds of thunder, shafts of light. Come and sup with me tonight.
Say, we better get Benson reading these spells.
Have I for tea. Brew a tempest now for me.
It really is.
The lamp in Alexander's hand,
especially with the extra detail of like
the spell works despite his makeshift teapot.
None of the other lamps count as teapots? Wow. It's not so much like, I mean, it is sneaky. Indeed it was. Great animations in this game. I think the real sneaky thing is just that. Right, of course. I think the reason it's really sneaky is just that you're in an adventure game. So when you get the baby's tears crying, you instinctively think like, well, I got to catch these in a container. And then you try to do it. And it's like, you have no reason to do that. So then when you see the spell and it says teapot, you think like, okay, I've got to get a real teapot. I was even thinking like, all right, I said it out loud. I was like, I don't think any of the other lamps were clearly teapots. Okay. So how are we going to boil? No, that part is reasonably clear. That's why I had to cast a spell now.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
I missed that, so thank you, because that's a good line. I think for narrator greatness,
Alexander
you still got to
has a
give the
strange pulling sensation.
you gotta give the laurels to Quest for Glory 4, but this narrator is no slouch. Hey, fellas.
Great gods, did you see that? The man just appeared from nowhere.
Perhaps he was sent by the spirits. I see no boat.
He is an intruder, no matter how he got here. Grab him!
Not again. Look, I'll leave. It's no problem.
I think not. Let's go.
I guess Alexander doesn't specifically know that this is going to happen.
Alexander is frozen at the spectacle before him. Robed figures are gathered around a bonfire. Some mystical ceremony is taking place, but as to its purpose, Alexander has no clue.
We found a trespasser on the beach, Archdruid.
Uh-oh. Archdruid. Now what has Alexander wandered into?
This must be the foreigner we were warned about.
They're very low-level
Appropriate
druids.
that he should come during our rain festival. Place him in the sacrificial cage.
Wait! I must rescue the princess!
There's that, too.
Druid saying, a man who would save others.
Oh, you know what? It didn't even occur to me till just this moment.
Alexander is pushed.
But we're also going to actually, they're going to be like, hey, the ritual worked. We should keep on burning people in cages whenever we need the rain to come.
And the cage is swung out over the bonfire. Alexander starts to feel a little warm. The bottom of the cage is getting uncomfortably hot. This cage is really hot. Fire in the cage. Alexander pulls out Beauty's old slave clothes, desperate to beat out the flames.
You idiot!
The flame is extinguished, but the clothes themselves burn to cinders. Alexander won't be able to keep the cage from igniting for long. The heat and movement must have jarred something. Something that Alexander's carrying is starting to jiggle around. Egad, something's really percolating. The water in Alexander's lamp is hot. It's just about boiling.
Good eye graphics there. It's hard to do precision with pixel art eyes.
Alexander feels
I've
a drop.
learned.
It starts to rain.
But okay. I gather that there are some branching, like more branches than just different ways into the castle if doing this takes away the option.
I must apologize for our rude welcoming committee. We've been feeling inhospitable ever since the winged ones stole our sacred miniature oak tree. Besides, Wizir Al-Hazred sent a message that we were to watch out for a highly dangerous foreign assassin. I assume you are the one he meant.
I'm sure I'm precisely who he meant. I assure you, I mean to harm no one.
Good.
Unless
I mean, I do.
that person threatens the princess. I'm sorry to have disrupted your ceremony, but I'm running out of time.
What is it that you seek?
The oracle on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain told me I should speak to you about the realm of the dead. She told me of 2 souls in unrest there that I might be able to free.
Free souls in the realm of the dead? You're mad.
The souls might be able to help me on my mission to save the princess. It's imperative that I do everything I can. The risks are not important.
No. And yet getting yourself killed will hardly help the princess. But I will tell you what I know. Legend has it that it is the right of any human to challenge the Lord of the Dead in order to save his own life or the life of another already past. But the knowledge of how to do this was lost centuries ago. I have only heard of one who tried it. A young knight who came to the land of the Green Isles from a distant land long ago. According to the story, he was determined to challenge the Lord of the Dead for the soul of his dead lover. It is said that he tamed the Lord of the Dead's horse, a black-winged, demon-hearted beast named Nightmare. Nightmare sometimes flies to the human world to feed on certain noxious plants. Those unfortunate enough to see her are glad to escape with their very souls intact. Somehow, the knight captured Nightmare and rode off on her back, supposedly to the realm of the dead. But neither the knight nor his lover ever returned. If there was a means for challenge, it was lost with the knight.
I see. Can you tell me anything about the Lord of the Dead?
Ah, that is a blacker matter still. To the druids, he is Samhain, lord of coldness and despair. Samhain was once a man like you or I, but he insulted the gods and was sentenced to rule the underworld. Immortal he is and mateless, robbed of sleep, robbed of movement, robbed of companionship. It is said that he hates all mortals even more for the mortality that he lost. That is all I know.
Interesting. I shall remember.
Now look how the oak embers of our bonfire still glow hot despite the rain. If you're bent on your course, you'll need courage that's just as impervious to the chill. May your luck last longer than your storm, brave one.
May it indeed. Thank you, Archdruid.
You wouldn't expect the Druid song to have a bopping bass line like this. Okay, so... Sure. Whatever. Okay. Well, I think I've got a pretty clear sense of what both of the remaining spells are going to be for. But our first concern. That's the plan. Helpful of him to be like, just to clarify, because we think that oak trees are sacred. Remember I said that? So those are oak embers. Just in case that's important to you. Hey, I've got all the ingredients. Just use the jaw like a scoop, I guess.
Alexander scoops up some of the red-hot embers in the ancient human skull.
Oh, cool.
Alexander puts the strand of hair in
Item on item. Actually, I suppose I was already doing that with the spell. Before. Great. Brimstone was part of this one, right? Yes. That's very interesting, Cedric. There's a lot of questions raised, PJ, by Alexander's storage methods. But okay, I need the brimstone as well. Bit of sulfur.
Alexander cracks the spoiled egg and dumps it into the skull containing the embers and the strand of hair. The spoiled egg hisses as it makes contact with the hot embers. Zounds, the steam. Phew, the smell of sulfur.
Dingy ding. Very nice. Does Ghost Rider smell like brimstone? That'd be an interesting detail. I'm not super familiar with that character. Okay, wait, where was I? Less than 100 points left to go. And I got a little bit of time. Not a lot of time, but a little. Yeah, is there an interview with Nicolas Cage where he discusses that he I carried rotten eggs.
Blocked by impenetrable forest. The way north is blocked.
Okay. No more talking to the druids, at least right now. Okay. So I gotta meet the creature of the night. Here's a thought, maybe. And I just saved. And yet I'll save again just in case. I like this. Well, of course I do, because it's an interesting thing to add to the mix. The branching kind of options and pathways that Alexander's quest can take. So, like having 2 shots at getting a fair maiden's hair. That's cool.
Alexander searches the bottle for a clue about the potion inside, but remains unilluminated.
All right. What do you need the clue for? You've done it before. Can I trick the knight?
Alexander already has a pretty good idea what that potion does.
No.
And he doesn't want to waste the rest of it.
Okay. So it's not about tricking the dead horse, the horse of the dead, to come and get me. Then pop up and start incanting over the skull. Okay. So obviously, per your PJ is getting all sorts of offhand comments that wind up being relevant, I think, because I think if we're going to the land of the dead, we actually have to get water of the river Styx. We're also going to pay Charon's toll.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Well?
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Let's go ask them if they actually stole this sacred oak.
The steps cannot be moved any further.
I know that, man. Come on. You know what I'm trying to do. Hey, it matters. Who knows how long it would have taken me to notice those white roses. Although probably when we eventually meet Charon, I would have figured out to give him the coins. Oh, okay, it's that easy. It's eating the sacred oak.
Alexander arrives at the top of the cliffs, somewhat winded after his long but uneventful climb.
Well, this part seems eventful.
A mighty winged horse, the color of midnight, is feeding from the nightshade bush. The creature
that's not the
must be
oak.
Nightmare, the one the druids spoke about.
Yes, that's true. That is absolutely who this must be. Well. I would not have remembered that the Nightshade Bush was here, but I would have remembered that it proves fruitful to revisit areas. And since he mentioned the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, I was inclined to revisit it. Did not recall that, Cedric, but that's another good point.
Alexander solemnly speaks the incantation over the skull.
Well, the cave, that's the secret exit to the labyrinth.
Fire and brimstone.
Although one does look and think, can you go back in? Maybe they let you go back in case you didn't take the coins or something. You know, to be generous and not do the dead end thing.
Nightmare flares her nostrils at the scent of the fire and brimstone.
Tickle her nose.
That's it. Come on. I need
Oh.
that fiery one.
Yeah.
Unable to resist the power of the enchanted smell, Nightmare
certainly worth
approaches
checking out
Alexander.
at some point.
Her eyes appear glassy and sightless.
There we go. There we go.
In her hypnotized state, she is unaware of the human so close to her flank, or of anything at all except that marvelous smell.
Excuse me, terrifying death horse. Going to crawl past your poison bush here. Ooh. This is cool.
Nightmare deposits Alexander on a strange, cold world. And some of the inhabitants don't look too friendly.
Yeah, it could not hurt to have a dedicated in the land of the dead save. Oh. I didn't even know I was doing that. And yet, it was, yeah, it was there. It was definitely there. Oh, are you kidding me, sir? Are you just going to come and zombie me right away?
Alexander hesitates to break the mournful, heavy atmosphere by speaking aloud.
Not even to the ghosts themselves?
Who are you, poor undead creatures? I see. How interesting. Who are you, grieving spirits?
I am Queen Ilaria of the land of the Green Isles, and this beloved spirit is my husband, King Califan. We were murdered in our beds by our trusted Vizier. Like a viper, he snuck in during the night and stabbed us in our sleep. Now my husband's soul is broken, and he will not speak.
Then you are the ones I seek. Are you not the parents of Princess Cassima?
Our daughter! Have you news of the princess?
I know that she is alive and safely back in her kingdom after being rescued from Mordak. But I'm afraid I have not personally seen her. Alhazred is keeping her in her room in mourning for you.
I am glad to hear of her return, but she will not be safe alone with that devil. Oh, that we could be there to protect her.
Cassima, how I fail thee.
My poor husband will never rest while our murder goes unavenged and our daughter is in danger.
I came to take you back with me. Your people are still loyal to you. They need to know about the Vizier. Cassima needs you too.
But this is the realm of the dead. We cannot leave it. Nor, for that matter, can you. The only one who might be able to return us all to the land of the living is the Lord of the Dead. But he would never help us. He has no mercy.
I might be able to convince him. I must try.
Then take this. It is my ticket to the underworld. There you will find the Lord of the Dead. I cannot use the ticket as long as I'm chained here. And if we cannot be avenged, I will never be unchained.
Thank you. Perhaps it will save us all.
Totally fair of them.
Be careful, young man. If you can ease my husband's torment and help our daughter, we will be most grateful.
I will do my best. Goodbye, Queen Ilaria.
Yeah, entirely understandable that they would be like, Can you see you really should not have come to this place if you're planning to do something back in the living world. Would they be comforted or less comforted if Alexander was like, this is much more of a plan than I normally go into situations with? And read the portrait of Queen Ilaria. I was going to say, like, Alexander's not a shallow guy, and so, like, it's not the most important thing to him. Oh, Alexander's a brave dude. But, yeah, not a shallow guy, but it's got to be a little reassuring if you're planning to marry Princess Cassima for her genetics that, you know, her mom looks that good after she's literally dead. And, hey, speaking of voluptuous ghosts.
Where is my little boy? Ollie!
Why do you not rest, sad spirit?
Rest? I cannot rest. My son is lost.
Lost? You mean in this realm?
No. His spirit is stuck in the land of the living. Probably looking for me. But I cannot leave to go show him the way. My poor Ali.
Is there anything I can do?
Take this handkerchief. If you get back to the land of the living and find him, tell him that his mother is waiting for him here. By this kiss, he'll be able to find his way to the realm of the dead.
I'll do my best to find him.
Thank you.
What a mensch. What a guy, our Alexander. And yeah, this does not feel essential to Alexander's quest. And that doesn't mean he's not going to do it. Because he's a good guy. Okay, so not a side quest at all. Well, at least that one is, you know, that's not an arbitrary, like, oh, you didn't click the right thing. That's a, you know, you pass by someone in need without trying to help them.
The skeleton to the left of the path hands something to the spirits that approach the underworld entrance.
Take it, please. Next.
I think the absolute meanest part in King's Quest V is how right before, if you even manage to resist eating the custard pie, right before you actually need it, you get one last like puzzle that you clearly need to solve with food. Got the handkerchief. I love the stylings of the ticket.
A uniformed skeleton stands guard at the entrance to the underworld. He takes something from the passing spirits and then waves them on into the underworld.
Yep. Yeah, we know all about this. Hey, a little crossover at Quest for Glory. We got sphincter doors.
Alexander sees no way to use that there, and he's not anxious to experiment needlessly in the realm of the dead.
A lot of ambiguity about where the pointing part is.
Oh, on. Next.
Did I just create an unwinnable state, Clef? Well, that's interesting. I have no idea why. Let's see. Let's mess around a bit more before we pay our toll. Or not pay our toll. Get our ticket torn or whatever. But also, Looking forward to getting back through there.
The skeleton to the left of the path hands something to the spirits that approach the underworld entrance.
Ticket, please. Next.
Might I get one of those tickets?
The skeleton with the tickets must not approve of Alexander's less than ghostly looks. He refuses to give him a pass.
Okay. And to be fair to the devs, to be fair to our dear Roberta, I think it is fair to just, like, yeah, I'm in a separate contained area that obviously I will never return to after I leave it. It is the realm of the dead. I'm playing King's Quest VI. I was not born yesterday. I ought to be maximizing my efforts to click on stuff. And I ought to be going on the assumption. Okay. But how?
A large key ring containing a skeleton key hangs from the waist of the skeleton to the left of the path.
Sure. It can't be this simple, can it? No.
The skeleton with the keys looks rather grave. Alexander doesn't want to touch him. It's unlikely that the skeleton would allow Alexander to just take his key.
Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. Okay. Well, just stab this skeleton to death, take his key. Let's try some things that aren't even ideas.
Would you be willing to exchange this for a ticket?
The skeleton must not like the looks of Alexander.
Ooh, oh my goodness.
To give him a ticket, even in exchange for something
Whether or
else.
not it solves the puzzle, if Alexander can't play those bones like a xylophone, it's going to be a little disappointing.
Alexander picks up the two bones on the ground. Now, what do these bones remind him of?
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
The skeletons are overcome with the musical call of the bones. They begin to jiggle, then to dance.
The danse macabre, as they say. Excellent. I can't even think of what that song is called. I know it's the arm bones connected to the shoulder bone. That's not even how it goes.
And the skeletons resume their posts. Despite their frolic, they don't seem any friendlier.
And that's fair. Really, I should have, especially because it's the game over screen, I should have assumed, like, they really want you to notice all the details here.
Alexander picks up the skeleton key.
It does, doesn't it? As soon as, like, when I was like, okay, I'm missing, like, I obviously missed a detail somewhere because you explicitly told me, which I appreciate because it's a bit frustrating. And then I came back and I was like, he's got a freaking skeleton key. I should have noticed the bones quicker, but thank you, PJ. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Too cruel. Too cruel. I mean, you know what? Quest for Glory 4, game I love. I got an unwinnable state in that, not through design so much as programming. Just a bug where if you don't do a certain thing within a certain number of days, a certain character just never appears. Didn't learn that till much later in the experience. Yeah, it didn't feel great. But even like, think about an adventure game. Absolutely. And even if they weren't, I would still appreciate them. What was I just thinking? One thing about an adventure game is that, if you do have to play it over, it's going to go a lot faster. Because, big part of the gameplay is solving the puzzles. Although the caveat there with Quest for Glory is, of course, it's an RPG adventure hybrid. And you do have to, whatever stat grinding and such you had done, you missed out on.
I have a ticket.
Oh, on. Next.
Boom, 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 boom. I was just listening to The Cure's Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me album the other day. Oh, yeah. The skeleton animation was obviously terrific. This looks awesome. The music is wonderful. Sure does seem quite possible to fall into that river. Hopefully I won't. Dun, dun. I think it's the very first song on Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. The Kiss. That has a building tension around a dun, dun happening here and there.
Apparently, Alexander's not the only one who's curious about the body on the path. A knight's remains lie abandoned on the path. The knight, like Alexander, must have been alive when he entered the underworld, but for some reason he never reached his destination. Alexander
I can't believe that I managed to avoid that.
The Druid spoke of. The knight is wearing an old, tattered ribbon. It must have once meant much to him as a sign of his lady's favor. The knight is wearing one black gauntlet. There appears to be some writing on the gauntlet, but Alexander can't quite make out what it says.
Well, let's see what happens.
Alexander takes the knight's black gauntlet and examines the writing on it. Flesh may cross the portal and seek its master, death. Flesh may go where death is trod, and challenge, like Scheherazade, he who reigns beneath the sod, to spare a mortal's breath. Zounds, that sounds serious.
So presumably the method of challenging death is just to throw down the gauntlet. Indeed. Sometimes when people try to write poetic dialogue, it's very clear that they're familiar with what poetry is, but they haven't really thought about it that much. They certainly haven't studied it. Not only can it come across forced, but often what stands out in my mind, and to be fair, it was originally written in French because it's an Ubisoft game. But Child of Light is like written in poetry, but it has rhyme with absolutely no rhythm. There's just no meter to it at all. It's terrible.
The ribbon is so old it would crumble at Alexander's touch.
Hold on a second. Should I also?
Alexander doesn't want to experiment with the organic path beneath his feet. The path might not like being fooled with, and he's a bit dependent on it at the moment.
No, Alexander, I'm saying, what if...
Alexander doesn't...
Okay. I had no problem with the rhyming. I'm all for. Write your whole game in poetry. That's cool. But, like, poetry needs to have meter. Just rhymes in basically prose. Ooh, that sounds fascinating. I am a big hip-hop fan myself. Let's just get a second in the land of the dead. Save going. Yep. I noticed that. I should have commented, but yeah. Real sharp stuff. This is Alexander.
Alexander slips off the path and plunges into the river Styx. As soon as the water touches his skin, Alexander's mind and body go numb. He sinks like a lifeless stone.
I like that even if you've gone through the door.
Next.
Hey, what a fix. Bathing in the river Styx.
If this was Child of Light, it would be like, hey, what a fix. Alexander has come to the land of the dead where he fell into the river Styx. Again, though, that might it's quite possible that the poetry is lovely in French.
A strange path grown up from the depths of the river and out from the surrounding walls spirals down into the underworld.
Okay. You can do this, Alexander. Oh, wow. Well, that's convenient. What are we going to do here? Actually, I suppose I ought to see if there's anything else going on before I pay the ferryman's toll.
Charon stands in his boat, eternal ferryman of the dead. Alexander can't quite make out what's under Charon's cowl, and he's not sure he would want to. The spirits of the
quite possibly not.
deceased make their final journey into the depths of the underworld.
Oh, you know what? At some point, obviously, I need to... Hold on.
The realm of the dead is a very dangerous place. There's no time for that here.
Are you serious? I can't review where I need to get what I need to... Hold on. Can I just do it in teacup?
Alexander scoops a little of the river Styx into the empty teacup, being careful not to get any of the black water on his skin.
Okay, good.
The river Styx is an ebony mass of liquid, resembling black tar or melted black glass. Despite its incredible stillness, the river seems to have a life of its own. Alexander stands on the banks of the river Styx.
Okay. These aren't just 2 coins, sir. I cannot wait to find out what the Rotten Tomato is for.
Will these coins do as fare for passage?
Charon accepts the fare and waves Alexander onto the boat.
It clicked for me just in time. Because otherwise, I was like, what else can I do here? Would you call him Stidge for short? Yeah, imagine if I'd taken the ferry and then I'm here and I'm like, well, hold on. Can I tie the ribbon around here so that Alexander can lean down to get the Styx water in the teacup? It's definitely better than just Stidge.
The eerie river Styx flows under and around the path to the gate. A tortured path has grown up from the depths of the river Styx. The path leads to a heavy wooden gate.
How do you know the path has been tortured? How do you know that the path grew? Like, cool imagery.
Alexander is standing on a path in front of a large gate. The path is surrounded by the chilly river Styx. Charon, the ferryman, is gone. Alexander has the feeling that he's close to his destination, that it must in fact lie on the other side of the gate.
It does. But it also looks like stone, you know? All right, the organic thing. That's an excellent point, Cedric. Yep. Put those 2 points together, boom. Clef and Cedric just explained it to me. Well done. Oh, it's nasty. Because it's like organic, but it's like, you know, presumably it's dead organic. Like it's somehow rotting, growing. Ugh. I mean, maybe it's entirely made of fingernails, right? Keeps growing after it's dead. Okay. Well, I should have stopped, but I'll stop soon. Can't just stop right at the climactic part of this area.
Alexander reaches out to open the gate. Suddenly, the wood trembles beneath his fingertips.
It's a scary face.
What touch has awakened my sleep? I smell the blood of a mortar. Reach out thine hand again, fleshy human, that I might devour it. It has been centuries since I last ate.
I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I mean, it's kind of him to have asked. He could have just popped up suddenly and bit my hand off when I took the doorknob. Okay. Really feels like I need the gauntlet for a moment. Do you want to eat this rabbit's paw? But on the note of vets thinking cats have weird names, I don't know if people think that my cat's names are weird, Abra and Astra. But what happens constantly? What else would I know Tony J from, Cedric? What happens constantly when anybody starts to learn the cat's names? I say, what are your cat's names? And I say, well, it's Abra and, oh wait, I know, Cadabra. No. Some people are they're like, did you name them after Pokemon? It's like, if you let me say the second name, you would have already realized. Oh, yep, okay. I was thinking, like, there's some familiarity here, and it's Megabyte. Here, you want to eat this rabbit?
Have this.
What care I? I am interested in thy bones, not in bartering with thee.
Well, I'm not gonna feed you my bones, man. Do you want to eat this rotten tomato?
I have this.
What care I?
Okay. Well, you know what? Kind of just curious.
Alexander decides to try to force the gate open.
Oh, wow.
Tickets. Oh. Next.
That was not at all what I was
It
expecting.
must have been love at first bite.
There was no biting involved. No biting, no chewing. Can we talk this out?
Despite his fear, Alexander summons his bravest voice to command the living gate.
I would pass, Gate. I have business with your master.
My master.
I was hoping he would read that one line as the beast.
I would be pleased to introduce thee. Only step forward and thou shalt meet him shortly.
No, thank you. I come to meet the Lord of the Dead with my flesh still intact.
And why should I let you past, human, when I would much rather eat you?
I have been told that there is a way for humans to enter Death's realm. There must be something I can do. Some task that will allow me to pass through your doors, Gate.
I seem to recall something. A trick. Perhaps a test. Yes. Should a human try to pass, a riddle is Gate's wont to ask.
A riddle it is, then.
And if thou wouldst fail to answer, Gate, his thirsty jaws will be thy fate.
Appropriate to use that kind of archaic
Listen as though it meant thy life then, human, for it surely does.
form here.
My first is foremost legally. My second circles outwardly. My third leads all in victory. My fourth twice ends a nominee. My whole is this gate's only key.
My first is foremost legally. My second circles outwardly. My third leads all in victory. My fourth twice ends a nominee. My whole is this gate's only key.
That was an interesting touch. I'm just glad they're going to give it to me again. Okay. Okay. My first is foremost legally. My second circles. Oh, I assume it's a 4-letter word. It's not ringing a bell with me. So at the very least, we can say that it's not a... They didn't take like a classic riddle from like a famous fairy story or something. Oh, man. Okay, my first is foremost legally. Yeah, don't tell me just yet, but... The unfortunate part here is that this may oblige me to stop in the middle. I can hear Daniel talking down there, but it can't possibly be the company who ended up coming at 5:15. I can't be actually neglecting our company right now. Right. Okay. Okay. My fourth twice ends a nominee. I was first thinking, is it N? Like N is in nay? But that's actually the opposite way around in the rules of order. It's a seconding that puts it up to the vote. It's not that you get 2 nays that put you down. The other thing, though, is that it can be obviously recursive here, right? The 4th is an E. Is probably what it is. So if that's E, my 3rd leads all in victory. I mean, the letter V leads victory. V. My 1st is foremost.
The answer is love.
Ah, thou traitor of the mortal plane, how didst thou guess love? That riddle should never have been solved. Love is unknown in this realm.
Well,
love cannot be banished, even from this place. There are spirits still pining of it on the surface above. Still less can it be banished from my heart.
Enough! Burden me not with thy poetry. Pass through, and quickly, before I change
well,
my
actually, hold on.
mind.
Because if I could burden you with poetry for a moment. That's what I assumed was happening, but I thought when it said that Alexander memorized it, that he had memorized it like functionally in the game. That's okay. That was a fun riddle. Although I'm not like, why is the gate so surprised? He's like, there's no love here in the realm of the dead. Idiot. Our whole conversation is based on the fact that I'm from the realm of the living. That was a fun riddle. I like that. At first, I was... First, I was trying to think like, is there a letter that is always the first letter in a legal document? And I was thinking it might be I, like the Roman numeral 1. Yeah, that's what Alexander went with, was not just being like, hey, stupid. We were just talking about how I'm from the realm of the living. Okay.
Excuse me. I'd like an audience, please.
The shrouded guards escort Alexander to the throne of the Lord of the Dead.
Thanks, fellas.
Why have
Whoa.
you entered my domain, still wearing your flesh? If you are so anxious for death, you might have found it easily enough in the land of the living.
This is so cool.
But since you are here, you are most welcome to stay. Kiss my hand.
How?
And you will be one.
Did me and my buddy beat this whole game?
There will be no pain.
And I don't remember any of this. And this is all so cool and impactful. Although now I'm realizing by saying that I just missed the dialogue. Hold on.
I seek a boon, my lord.
Why should death grant you anything, mortal?
Yeah, absolutely.
The will to live is strong.
And they're not his fingernails.
Is it not? Never mind. I will reach out to you.
Ah.
The Lord of the Dead's touch fills
okay.
Alexander instantly with a numbing cold and blackness.
All right. Let's do the thing that I'm pretty clearly supposed to do.
Excuse me. I'd like an audience, please.
The shrouded guards escort Alexander to the throne of the Lord of the Dead.
Yeah, that's a... Like, there's some other upsetting death scenes, but then there's a lot of comical ones. That's one that's really like, by the way, kids,
You are so anxious for
You will
death,
die one day.
you might have found it easily enough in the land of the living. But since you are here, you are most welcome to stay. Kiss my hand, and you will be one with the spirits. There will be no pain.
This neck cage thing is a crazy visual detail. And like, does he have no neck inside there or something? All right. Slap him with the
I
glove.
did not come here to die, but to demand my right of challenge. I respectfully challenge thee, death, by throwing down this gauntlet. Man may pass the portal and seek its master, death. Man may pass where death has trod, and challenge like Scheherazade, he who reigns beneath the sod, to spare a mortal's breath.
He has the gauntlet!
Impossible! He challenges death.
Who are you to challenge death?
A man of flesh is all I need to be, my lord.
And what is it that you seek with this challenge? The soul of some dead maiden?
I seek the souls of King Califim and Queen Ilaria, the land of the Green Isles.
You would save 2 human souls and emerge alive from this realm yourself? That shall be a difficult challenge indeed. The tomb does not open its doors lightly.
Either all 3 of us leave, or none go.
Very well. Then let me think of an appropriate task. Ah, yes. I have it now. Your challenge is this. For thousands of years, I have sat upon this throne. I have heard every sad tale that can be told by human lips. I have seen tragedies that ended empires, injustices that defy reason, love that would light the very stars turn cold and hard. I have seen torments that cannot possibly be borne, and yet must be for centuries. This thing I have never done. I have never shed a tear. Make me cry, thou man of flesh. That is my challenge.
Make death cry?
That's
Sooner
incredible.
could he turn sea to stone, or fire to ice.
Okay. So. Wow. That was my first thought. I was like, damn it. An onion would be just the thing here. Just like, yeah, every time, every conversation, every monologue makes me that much more excited to one day play the Gabriel Knight games, because holy shit, Jane Jensen. Okay. How am I going to just poke him in the eye, Alex? Okay. What could make him cry? Just throw a bunch of insults at him. Let's see. Hold on.
If your existence has been all that you say it has, then truth alone shall be my sword.
The mirror's surface swirls with darkness for a moment, then fills with images even blacker. Reflections of despair, of wailing souls, of shackles colder and more immutable than any forged by man, of a world of thirsts that can never be quenched. Alexander feels the mirror tremble in his grasp, and is glad that he cannot see its face. But the Lord of the Dead is transfixed to the mirror, to the screening of his life. Things long forgotten are once more uncovered. His enslavement to this throne while still a man, the years of watching misery and horror and growing ever more numb to it, the seep of his own humanity, the slow growth of a new thing altogether, which became that which he is now. His is an existence that has no possibility of redemption, no end. The surrounding spirits draw away in pain. The truth is so sharp it stabs, so intense it sears.
Chills.
Take it away.
Oh, also it's getting
Make
colder,
it
and I don't have the
stop.
heat on in here, so. Gonna cry. A single
The
tear.
mirror of truth cracks from the strain, and death sheds a single gray tear.
Truth is indeed a terrible thing. I have worn this mantle for so long, I had forgotten its dreadful weight. You shall take the souls and leave as I agreed. You have been granted to stay from this inevitable reality. I almost envy you. Find the souls he has claimed and bring them to me. King Caliphim and Queen Alaria, I presume. Your hero has won you a few more years of mortality. May your souls be more prepared for their rest when you return.
Thank you, my lord. I hope that they will.
And you, man of flesh, my steed shall take the three of you back to the land of the living. Tell her where it is you wish to go.
She's even hotter with skin.
Until we meet again, then, I assure you, we will meet.
No offense, my lord, but I hope that will be many long years.
Accidental click, but we get the gist.
Never as long as you might wish, mortal. Now, begone.
Yes, my lord.
I had a feeling that was all I cut off. Just hold on.
Are you coming, Majesty?
Al-Hazred's treachery must be handled carefully, Alexander.
This is a
Alaria and
perfect
I must
spot
go
to end.
gather our allies
Indeed.
And form a plan. Watch over Casima. Make sure she comes to no harm. We will return as soon as we can to take back all that has been stolen from us.
I will keep her safe until your return.
Thank you, son. Your love for our daughter must be deep indeed for you to have undertaken death itself for our sakes.
Gosh, she's pretty.
May we succeed.
But I must stay
in what
focused on the
awaits us,
daughter.
and live long together as a family.
Well. That was an incredible sequence. Perfect spot to wrap. Wow. What a game. What a game. How did this all just bounce off of my memories, except for the fantastic coat? I will accept, because I can Google what Alexander looks like in a dress. I gotta be careful exactly what terms I use when I do that. But I do have that option. Okay. Wow. Nice. Awesome. Great. What a game. Can't wait to play again next week. So check it out. Tomorrow, Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth of Worlds. We're back in that Labyrinth of Worlds. In the Tomb of Prekor Loth, keeping the death theme alive. Can I kill 2 more liches and meet the king himself? Perhaps I can. Perhaps I can. I'll include Daventry, King's Quest, Sierra. I'll cast a wide net with a lot of search terms, or a narrow net, I guess. Yeah, Tuesday evening. All systems should be go. Greg should be here. Phase 2 begins. Obscure beat 'em ups. That's what's really going to start driving viewership to the Greg and James beat 'em up show, right? None of that Streets of Rage, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon. Games you've never even heard of that are still just all about walking from left, right, and punching. I'm excited. Hopefully on Friday, we can carry on with the My Private Empire scenario. We started up last night. I'm playing the Lurker Deep Wraith now. Rich is playing the Aether Banner Spear now. It's all very cool. It's awesome. We're having fun. Just depends on the track meet that Rich has to be at in Montreal. Wrapping up soon enough that he can get back to his hotel room and play. Fingers crossed. And then before you know it, it's Saturday again. And oh man, I think we're going to beat this game. And I can't imagine like even a disappointing ending. And I don't know, I'm not really expecting that. Would not be enough to sour the experience. So I'm very excited. Sweet. Okay. If you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, can't hear my voice. I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time, when we stop a really, really ill thought out wedding, take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone you meet.